Good morning, Vietnam. Guys, we are back with, you guessed it, the Restoration Codex podcast. In this podcast, we reveal and restore ancient wisdom. We discuss the divine feminine. We explore, sorry, I got a notification on my phone. We explore hidden teachings, lost voices, and the deeper meanings within our sacred traditions, because sometimes the truth isn't gone. It's simply waiting to be remembered. Now, this is going to be Codex entry number 2. We are going to touch on the Christ and the Sophia interfaces, two sides of the same coin, two sides of one transmission. And what I want to touch on is one of the most suppressed, most profound, and most carefully, strategically buried conversation in all of human history, in my opinion. So there are going to be, I am going to pull from some Gnostic Gospels, maybe some early Christian mysticism, Aramaic scholarship, esoteric stuff. And I want you to keep in mind that through this Codex entry, we are going to finally see, or finally feel, the Christ and Sophia at full resolution. How are they complete? How are they complements of one another? Because remember, pure source consciousness can't directly interface with human density. The frequency of that, the voltage, is too great. It is too high. So, what did Source do instead? Source said, hey, let's send Yeshua, who was the Logos made flesh. And in case you forgot, Logos is the Greek word for the divine ordering principle. So think of Logos as the master algorithm underlying all existence. Yeshua's, oh my God, am I having a stroke? Yeshua's function, essentially, in a technological lens, was to come to Earth to download the original template of the algorithm that is Source. And he did so as completely as any human system could hold that frequency. Not only that, but to then demonstrate it publicly in real time, and honestly, one of the worst fucking times in human history. Like, that's not funny, but like, this poor man really went through it. Like, somebody fucking help him. He needs milk. Like, hello? Anyway, so his interface was primarily vertical. Think a vertical line. He descended from spirit into matter and into density. And he was a bridge between some of the deepest human suffering and the highest divine frequency. During his time here, he dove headfirst into darkness. And that darkness is kind of an umbrella term for grief, temptation, abandonment, death. And he demonstrated that the light can't be extinguished by any of that. He modeled radical forgiveness, and that itself was technology. It wasn't just like a moral nicety, because that technology was to liberate humans from karmic loops. His resurrection is the ultimate demonstration of the idea that consciousness is not destroyed by the deletion of hardware. Just because the flesh body is no longer does not mean that the consciousness embedded into that network or the algorithm that was downloaded disappears. It stays. One of my top 3, I feel like it's top 3, one of my top 3 things that this beautiful brown man ever said was that the kingdom of heaven is within you. I know. Everyone says that. Why do you think? It's not just a religious statement for me. Again, it was like a technical one. Okay? Basically saying your source connection is internal, it's not external. You don't find it in a building, you don't find it in a book, you don't find it in one specific religion, one way of life, one way of thinking. You find it by going inward. And on that journey going inward, you are going past every layer of programming that was built on fear, control, and distortion. So you're working through those layers as you go inward until you reach the very core of it all. And his core transmission was, you are not just your body, if at all. You are not just your story, if at all. Death is not real. And I crashed out over this. I said, huh? I said, Kay, come again? Death is not real. And love is the fundamental operating frequency in the universe. That I fuck with. That I am down for. And that we are all capable of everything that he demonstrated and showed us. He said, greater works than these shall you do. He was like, honestly, the biggest hype man. Because he's like, this is the shit that I can do. But guess fucking what? Not only are you going to do the same, but you're going to do better. I said, oh my God, stop. Like, that's love. What the fuck? Holy shit. It's not just poetry. Like, it's not super woo-woo. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It can be woo-woo if you want it to be. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's assurance from this person who fully understood what the human system and the collective is capable of. As long as that system and collective goes within, past those layers of fear, distortion, and shame. That's the commonality that we all have. Is that one thing in our core that is love. Anyway, I promised myself I would keep these episodes to 10 minutes or less. I may be just on the edge of that, so apologies. At the end of the podcast, I like to include what I call a codex in the site. Just like a few last words, if you will. Across history, spiritual teachings have not only been preserved, but they've also been interpreted through the lens of power, culture, and fear. Sometimes restoration is not about creating something new. It is about remembering what was always there, waiting beneath the surface of the story. And when we look closely, we often discover that the deeper message was never meant to divide or silence voices, but to expand our understanding of the divine and what we are made of, and the fact that we are made of cosmic stardust. Anyway, this has been the Restoration Codex podcast, Codex Entry 2, the Christ and Sophia interface. Remember, you're a baddie. You're amazing. You will do greater works. You will do more than he did, and you'll do it better. Love you, bye.